All right, folks, good evening, and it most certainly is a good evening. I feel pretty comfortable saying that. If you are a Seahawks fan and you're watching this video, you're having a good evening because you just watched the Seattle Seahawks beat their nemesis in the NFC Championship game and advance to the Super Bowl. It's been a long time coming. I've been making videos on this channel for a long time. I started actually by some definition, right after the last time the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl. It was a long, long road back to this moment. Some mediocre seasons, some decent seasons, but finally we are tasting the best life has to offer again. 31-27, a lot of drama, tough game, close game. Didn't go exactly the way I thought it would, but it went in favor of the home team. Seahawks moving on. All right, guys, before we go any further into this video, let's take a minute so I can tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using Sleeper this year for daily fantasy, then you are missing out. Download the app and get ready to have more fun with sports this year. Make all kinds of picks on over-unders. Get on over there. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever your sports fancy is. I've got some picks going for this week, the conference championship games. I got the over on Cooper Kupp, 30.5 receiving yards. I got Ken Walker scoring an anytime touchdown. I got Mevis over on the Rams kicking at least 2 field goals. And I got Drake May with the under on 227 passing yards. So get on over to Sleeper. Use promo code SBN, that is SBN, to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100 and go have more fun with sports this year. By the way, I know conference championship week is now over, but I did want to run that one again just to point out that I actually hit this week. I think all 4 of those were money this time around, right? So pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good right now, guys. So there's a lot to talk about with this game, obviously. There was a lot of momentum swings. There was a lot of up and down and back and forth. And there's definitely some stuff we did at a very, very high level, a level that I don't know if we've hit at all this season before today. There was some stuff that didn't go so well, some stuff that does need to get cleaned up over the next 2 weeks, but we're in the Super Bowl, guys. We're in the Super Bowl, and I'm really proud of this team. I'm really proud of these guys. And think about where we were in the offseason, guys. Think about where people thought we were going to be before the season started. And look at how far we've come. And look at how businesslike we can make it look sometimes. So really, when I think about this game, it's going to be the Sam Darnold game, and this team, by and large, did nothing that wasn't something that Sam Darnold was doing. And you guys know me. I'm not some huge Sam Darnold fanboy or anything like that. I'm not his biggest fan. I don't always defend him every time he makes a mistake. I can criticize him, I can get on him, but right now we just got to step back and appreciate the fact that in a game where Seattle wasn't able to run the ball that well, and a game where the defense really didn't have it, Darnold just had to put the team on his back, and he did. Against the team that has given him so much trouble this year, he was money. He was money in the bank, and I'll say it again, it's not like the running game was balancing the offense out that well. I think it's better than the numbers, but it still wasn't a great rushing attack. And I think the offensive line played pretty well, but it wasn't overwhelming or anything like that. It was fine. So for Darnold to put the team on his back the way that he did tonight, that's the guy now. That's the guy. What else can be said right now after the game that he just played? Absolutely, positively putting the team on his back. JSN, biggest game he's played in a while. We needed every bit of it too. 10 catches, a $150, and a touchdown. As good as it gets. Absolutely money in the bank for this offense right now. And the thing is, unlike some of the earlier games this year, you had other things working as well. We finally hit the big play to Shaheed. And the Rams, to their credit, and I think one thing they did in this game pretty well is they came into it thinking, we're not going to go out like the Niners. We are not going to let the Seahawks just run the ball on us all day. We are not going to let the Seahawks run for over 200 yards on us, and just salt the game away by default. We're going to actually make Darnold make throws. And Darnold made the throws right from the very start of the game, hitting Shaheed on the 50-yarder, hitting the checkdowns to K9, who ended up actually having a really good day, even though he didn't really get a lot going on the ground. Cooper Kupp, those were monster catches. Third down, third down, third down, open over and over and over again, finding ways to pick up first downs. Monster game by Cooper Kupp. Can't say enough about the game that he had today against his former team, justifying every little bit of the decision to bring him in the offseason. Shoot. Jake Bobo saving all of his good plays for the postseason. I'm not here to say that Sam Darnold was our only good player. There are other players on this team that I definitely want to shout out. Don't get me wrong. Even A.J. Barner had a couple of short, nice catches. But it all ran through Darnold today. No turnovers, big play after big play. The big turning point to me in this game really was right before the half when we went 3 and out. I think it was 3 and out. And the defense was able to get off the field. Shout out Nick Emanwari, one of the few guys on defense that really played well today. And then Darnold gets the ball with 50 seconds left, 75 yards from the end zone, and marches right down. Marches it right down. The way the offense has played this season, I was not expecting points in that situation at all. I was hoping for a long field goal attempt, but he stepped up and delivered that, 40-yard strike to JSN. When that was something that I haven't seen from our pure dropback game this year. That was something different. I'm used to this team kind of turtling up in those end of half situations lately. So for us to just go right down and take that touchdown, that completely flipped this game in my mind. And then a few minutes later, a few minutes into the third quarter, you get the fumble on the punt return. And by the way, we dominated on special teams, which is a big reason why we win this game. And the game feels like it's completely flipped. In like 4 minutes of game time, you go touchdown, touchdown. And credit to the Rams, they didn't give up at that point. They didn't roll over. But I remember thinking in that moment that we are one stop away from sealing this game early. And then the stop didn't come. But again, it all runs through Darnold, JSN, this offense, Kubiak. At first, my thought was Kubiak was abandoning the run a little too much. We were a little too pass happy, but we needed to score a lot in this game. And the running game was not reliably getting chunk plays. We had to open up the offense a little bit, and we did it successfully. That thing that we were all afraid this offense would not be able to do, they did. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. I'm so happy it happened at the most important moment. I'm so happy that Darnold played probably his best game of the year. Maybe he was technically better against Washington or Tampa Bay, but this Rams defense, they're not pushovers. In some recent games, they've kind of looked like it, but that's not a bad defense. This is a defense that gives him nightmares. This is a defense that picked him off 6 times in the regular season. And today he threw maybe 2 bad passes the whole game? Didn't take any bad sacks. The sacks that he took were not really bad sacks. I mean, money in the bank. So, as somebody who can go one way or the other on Darnold most of the time, we got to just give our props right now. Because, yeah, the other side of the ball, I don't really know what happened. It felt like we didn't blitz very much, so it's not like we went after the dangling carrot. I think we blitzed at a very low rate, but we still couldn't stop chunk plays, and we still couldn't get off the field reliably. We had a couple of good possessions, but for the most part, the defense was just getting blasted off the field. What are we talking about here? Almost 500 yards by the Rams, like over 450. No turnovers. There's 1 sack by D-Law, which, hey, we finally got to Stafford for the first time in 2 years. And the run defense isn't good either. So no level of the defense was really good. I thought the corners especially had a rough day. Witherspoon got beat several times early, although to his credit, he clutched up at the end and made 2 big plays to win the game. third down and fourth down, he breaks up those passes. Job, look, I don't dislike Job. I think Job is a decent player. I don't know why he's out there as much as he is. There's no reason for him to be out there as much as he is. I don't know what he brings to the table that justifies putting him in the game so much. And you see it. There are just some guys that have him. Like, he's too small for Colby Parkinson. He's too small to defend Devontae Adams. Those guys burned him on back-to-back plays in this game. He just doesn't have the gas to really hang with those guys. And it feels like every time he's in the game, these other offenses are like, okay, that's the guy we go after. And of course, Woolen, who, I mean, I can't mess with that stuff, guys. I cannot mess with that stuff. I'm sorry. Woolen has done so much work over the last 3 months to regain trust of this fan base. And it felt like in like 30 seconds, he blew it. I can't even get into the stuff that I said about him after that play. I can't even get into the stuff I was thinking about him. It is just the most selfish play imaginable. And one thing I want to say to all Seahawks fans watching this video, don't blame that one on the referees. Do they have to call it? No. But here's the thing, and here's the thing that I want everybody to remember from that play. The referee was telling Woolen to knock it off, and Woolen kept going. That's why the flag came out for taunting. If Woolen had just left when the referee told him to knock it off, there wouldn't have been a problem. So don't tell me that it's the referee's fault. Woolen needs to be smarter than that. He's not getting anything out of acting like that. That was a moment where I think we might have been about to put the game away, and Woolen extended the game. So I can't be dealing with that. That is the kind of stuff that got DK Metcalf out of here, and that was 100 times worse than anything DK Metcalf ever did in Seattle, as far as I'm concerned. That was 100 times worse. Now, some of that is because DK Metcalf never played in a conference championship game, so he doesn't have the opportunity to have a moment like that, but that really put me against him. I need guys who are not going to be that selfish. I need guys who are going to show love and respect for the game more than that. Like, I know we go back and forth on Woolen, and I'm not saying he played a terrible game today, although obviously he gave up some stuff. He was part of the problem out there. I'm not going to act like he's blameless here. He's not. But you look at plays like that and you're like, do you really want to give that guy $100 million? Because that's probably what it's going to take. I think that's really hard to get behind when he's already doing stuff like this. Like, I get it. When you're up by 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and you do that, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it then, but he came very close to costing this team a Super Bowl. Costing this team a trip to the Super Bowl. We were talking about, one play away from costing this team the Super Bowl. And I don't know if there's anything he can do in 2 weeks that'll make people forget about this one. So that bummed me out because Woolen has worked so hard over the last 3 months to regain faith. And it didn't happen. I mean, moving on from that topic, the pass rush, not really there. Granted, we didn't really blitz that much. We don't really have a chance to get pressure a lot because we're just rushing 4 and our edge rushers are not that great at just winning straight up. So we do what we have to do, and I support it because when we blitzed in this game, it generally went very poorly for us. We tackled okay. It broke down a little bit later in that game, but overall, I think our tackling was okay. Ernest Jones played fine. Like I said, Nick Emanwari's one guy that I would definitely shout out positively. I want to give DeMarcus Lawrence some love as well, but he did kind of get owned by Stafford on that 4th down. I don't know how you get bulldozed by 38-year-old Stafford on a 4th down play, and that's basically what happened. What else? Is there anybody else on the defense that I can really shout out? Not really, man. Murphy and Williams, they're not playing badly, but you can definitely feel like it feels like this is wearing on them a little bit, and it's just not a good matchup for them in LA. There's too much beef in that interior of the offensive line. Okay, so defense, I don't know. They came up big and made some big plays when we really needed it. We got the early 3 and out, which was big. We did force a couple of field goal kicks, which very important later in this game. We got off the field on that 4th down at the very end, but man, um, McDonald has a little more work to do if he wants to trump McVay. McVay, I think, won the battle today, and the Seahawks won because Sam Darnold put the team on his back. So next season, but McDonald is the head coach. He's not the defensive coordinator, and his team still won. So sometimes you live to fight another day. Sometimes you lose the battle and win the war. And we definitely won the war this time. Okay, what else? What else am I gonna say? I thought Helani actually looked good as a 3rd down back in this game. I know he didn't do a lot on the ground, but he did catch some passes, and I thought his blocking was pretty decent, so I was cool with what Helani did for the most part. Shout out Michael Dixon. Every single one of his punts was pinned inside the 20. We definitely dominated that special teams battle. Shout out to Jason Myers. All of his kickoffs were on point. They all landed in the landing zone. And we're here, guys. We're here. It wasn't easy. It wasn't always everything we wanted it to be, but my God, this team ahead of schedule, ready to go win a Super Bowl and solidify this as an all-time great season and an all-time great team. All right. I don't know where else to go with this one, but it's a beautiful, beautiful night. 31 points against your arch nemesis. Went off offensively, and if you want to find somebody to thank, it's all about Sam Darnold right now. It was all about Sam Darnold tonight. They put the game on his shoulders, and he delivered. Not just with the touchdowns, not just with the yards, not just with the volume of them, but converting on 3rd downs. We were great on 3rd down tonight. When Darnold was given the opportunity to convert a 3rd down, over and over and over again, he hit it. And there was a moment in this game, in that 2nd quarter, where I could feel like things might start getting away from him. He had the botched the snap that he dropped, and then he had the sack, and then he had the screen to Helani that he threw way too hard, and it felt like maybe the game was about to get away from him, and he resettled himself and played a great end of the game. 3 touchdowns after that moment. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everybody have a good rest of your night. I'll be streaming on YouTube later to celebrate this beautiful, beautiful day. But, I mean, enjoy these, guys. These moments don't come around that often. All right, go Hawks. See you guys later tonight.